and we see a comedy show, comedian on stage.
Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, Mencia's on stage making midget jokes. Half the audience is laughing. The audience that's sitting by me is like, "Oh no, stop! Get off the midget jokes! Like stop!" And Mencia notices, and he's like, "What? Is one of them here?" And I was just like, "Yes." Yes, sir, I am here. He called me up on stage. First thing he goes like, "What do you do for a living?" I was 19 years old, and at the time, I worked at Disneyland. The audience laughed, and I turned to them and said, "Shut the fuck up, I'm not one of the 7. That got a laugh. A year or so later, I told him, "Hey, I started doing stand-up because of what our interaction was." He goes, "Oh, really? Why don't you open up the second show?" I go up on stage. I did 5 minutes, and literally right then and there, he goes, "Hold on." He just went up on stage and went, "Hey, guys, how'd you guys like Brad?" And the whole audience, "Yeah." And he goes, "You guys have just made a decision for me. Brad, you want to be my new opening act?" Literally like that. And I'm sitting there like, "Yeah?"
My name is Derek Wolfe. I'm a Super Bowl champion and a 10-year NFL vet. Now, after a decade of professional football, I'm focusing on my other passions. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Wolfe Untamed podcast. Today's guest is Brad Williams. He's a comedian, awesome guy, funny guy, also a huge Broncos fan. Today, we're going to be talking about all the stuff that he's got going on. He's got a YouTube special that he just dropped. He's got some really big specials that he's got on Showtime and some other networks. So we're going to be talking about all the things he's got going on, and it should be a good one. Today, we got Brad Williams.
Hello, sir.
We've been trying to make this happen for a while.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons, when people look at us, they're like, it's like looking into a mirror.
Exactly. We're like the same.
Yeah, exact same physical specimen. I know they always say like, "Oh, football players are bigger than you expect," but when you answer the door, I didn't say it out loud, but in my head, I'm just like, "God damn!" Like that's just, I can't imagine, man. Like, cause you're what, 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you running at this whatever speed you were running at, I'm not hitting you. I'm moving out of the way. I'm just like, you go.
Well, that's what those guys would do. They try to get out of the way.
Yeah.
Because when I get going, when I do get to like top speed, it was like 16 to 19 miles an hour, somewhere in between there.
Go fuck yourself. No.
At 300 pounds hitting you like that. Like, it's just.
No. It's you guys are a different breed. I mean, clearly your legs are out. My legs are still on the chair. So I get it. Yeah. But it's just, and for those of you who don't know, I'm a lifelong diehard Broncos fan. So being in here is like being in a museum of like your childhood fandom. I say childhood fandom. I was in my 30s when you guys won the damn Super Bowl.
I know,
but
right?
but yeah, so it's truly an honor to be here. You've already let me see the ring, which I'm pretty sure I could wear as one of those like Taylor Swift bracelets.
Friendship bracelet.
Yeah, that'd be a hell of a one, man. That'd be one that the Swifties don't have.
They don't have that.
No, you just throw a ring on, but yeah, just wear it. Be like a Wonder Woman bracelet that could block bullets. It's crazy, man. Just and your home is set up like a hunting cabin. Like, did you look at every corner of this house and go, not masculine enough?
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because we'll talk about that. So I started building this house right before I met Abby, my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she came into my life like halfway through the build.
Ooh.
And she was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" She was like, so I had a room off of the master. So there's the master bathroom, and then there was like a closet that opened up, the doors opened up, and then there was like a secret room back there.
Okay. Now, what was in the secret room when you had it?
It was going to be like a secret sex room.
Oh, right.
So like,
let's get some swings, some whips, some chains.
Exactly. She was like down with it, but she was also like, we're not sharing this little ass closet. So now this sex room is a closet.
No, okay. This is a question for you, and please tell me to fuck off if this is too like, because I've just met you guys. But like, why do you need a whip and a chain? You're 6'7". Like, you don't need any additional weapons.
It wasn't about that. It was about like the ambiance of the room.
Okay. The ambiance of whips and chains. It's just nothing but Rammstein playing in the room the whole time. You just walk into the room like, du hast. Like, okay. And
just
like
death metal playing.
Yeah. That's what I figure. Now like how like it's always and we'll get into other topics. I won't stay on the sex stuff too much because you guys are a couple. I don't want to invade, but how long when you're dating a woman before you introduce the, hey, this is the sex dungeon. Like, that's not a first date
I never
thing.
even thought about that. Like, not when I was gonna like introduce somebody to that.
Like which comes first? You meet the parents or you meet the sex dungeon?
The dungeon comes first.
Okay.
For sure.
Now, how much does the NFL prepare you for being a famous person?
0.
Okay.
They just say, don't tweet something
Mm-hmm.
that like don't tweet something that you wouldn't want like your kids to see or your mom to see or
Okay.
you know, don't do that. Like don't post pictures that like this and I mean they try to do their best, but like at the end of the day, you gotta think you're dealing with like 21-year-old dudes that are just getting in the league, and then you have like a 40-year-old dude that's like married with kids. So you have like this broad range of men that you're dealing with. So it's hard. And that's why that was the worst part about the NFL is being treated like a child all the time.
Yes.
Like at first I needed it.
Sure.
But then as I like matured, I was like, I don't really need to be treated that way. Like, I don't need to be constantly like kept on a damn curfew and all this other bullshit. Like I have a family with kids and stuff. Like leave me alone. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Let me sleep in my bed.
Yes.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah, like training camp, you're in a hotel room?
Right down the street from here. Like, why the fuck would I do? Like, that makes 0 sense. Because they're like, oh, it's for the bonding. I'm like, dude, we're together all day.
Yeah, we're good.
From
We're bonded.
6 a.m. to 9 p.m., we're together.
I'm going
home.
I've showered with this man multiple times.
We showered 3 times together today.
We're
all right?
bonded.
We're fine. Yeah, the bond has been made.
He knows what birthmark I have next to my dick. We're good. We're good. We
don't need any more bonding. And if you're in a hotel, you're not like hanging out. You're tired as hell. You're going straight to sleep. That kind of stuff was like super annoying. But
here's a question: is there all right? Because there's a nickname for comedian groupies. Is there a nickname for football groupies?
Jersey chasers, cleat chasers.
Comedians, it's chuckle fuckers. Which I think that's a pretty good one.
That's a great one.
I think in the realm of groupie nicknames, chuckle fuckers is on the Family Feud board.
I feel like that's the best one.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's got to be the best one.
What is something about being a football player? And I apologize, this is a cheesy question. What is something about being a football player that the average fan has no idea? Like in terms of what you guys got to deal with.
So I think that most people think that it's like all glamorous and like it's all like the fame behind it because that's what they see. They're seeing receivers and quarterbacks who are like pretty much protected on the field and they're not getting beat up the way that we like. But when you go and look at like an interior defense and offensive lineman, we wake up in the morning after a game and we fucking crawl to the shower.
Yeah.
And it is like you're constantly in pain.
Yeah.
You're always fucking miserable.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. I think that most people don't realize that it's like, and the other thing I think they don't realize, I think they think that like the wife of an NFL player is like this awesome, it must be nice. But you would not fucking want that because it is like, first of all, you're dealing with somebody whose job is something that they started doing when they were a kid.
Yeah.
I started playing this game when I was 7. So that's all I've done is play football. So I'm like very immature. I'm aggressive as hell.
Sure.
I'm gone all the time.
Yeah.
Even when I'm here, I'm probably not here. I'm thinking of something else.
Especially like during the season. I imagine it's just like every day.
Oh, during the season. Yeah. It's like I get Tuesday. Tuesday's my only day off.
Yeah.
And I'm having to do recovery shit that day.
Yeah.
So it's like she gets me for like 3 hours a week, maybe. Would you say that you get my attention? Maybe.
Yeah.
So during the football season, it was just, and then you got that, like we had a baby, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, I'm at training camp. So I'm locked up in a hotel for fucking 6 weeks.
Wow.
It's like, so for the women out there that think that like, oh, being married to an athlete must be nice. Like you would fucking lose your mind.
That's so great that you say that in terms of all the like what people don't realize the football wife is, because people don't realize what the comedy wife is, and it's the same thing.
You're
where
gone
it's
all the time.
Gone. 30. Like this year is the best career year of my life so far, and I've been home. I'm technically off this week, and of course I fly to Denver for a day to do it.
I know that's. I was gonna say that. I was gonna thank you for your time, because the older I get, the more that I respect time, and the more I appreciate time and realize the value of time. Because when I was young, it was like, fuck time, whatever.
Yeah, you got forever. Now it's like you really try to cherish it. And yeah, this is my 3rd week off this year.
Hey guys, I want to talk to you about one of my favorite sponsors, Juniper Mountain Coffee. Coffee without compromise. You're getting high quality coffee without the high prices. This is an American company that stands behind their values. They stand behind their coffee. These guys make some of the best coffee I've ever had. It's a coffee I drink every morning. Juniper Mountain Coffee works directly with the farmers, paying fair wages, and that way you have no middleman. There's no BS, no garbage. You're getting high quality products. So go check them out at junipermountaincoffee.com. I want to talk about you, and I want to talk about, like, so where are you from? Where'd you grow up?
Orange County, California. Beaver Cleaver house. Dad worked. Mom at home. Have a sister. Had a dog. Like, that's, lived in a nice suburb of Fullerton, California. Just in case anyone's wondering, I'm the only dwarf in the family. There are we don't all come from the same tribe, You're not just like, which house is the dwarf house? Ah, yes, the mushroom with the door in it. Like that's not my deal. But yeah, came from that household. Became a Broncos fan because my dad went to Stanford, and
John Elway went to Stanford. Yep.
He wanted us to support a Stanford-led team, and the joke is that gave me 2 options: Elway with the Broncos or Plunkett with the Raiders. And because I don't have face tattoos or priors, it became Elway with the Broncos. So that's where the Bronco fandom comes into play. And grew up, but then Orange County kid, normal childhood, and then age 19, that's when the moment that changed my life happens, where I'm in the audience of a comedy show.
You're going to USC, right?
I went to USC.
What were you studying?
Communications. So when I dropped out to do comedy, we did not lose a cancer cure.
Right.
We're fine. We're not like, oh, what could have been if Brad just got his degree. I was trying to be a broadcast journalist. I was trying to be a sports broadcaster.
Okay.
I grew up with Vin Scully and Chick Hearn in LA, so that's what I wanted to do. I was that nerd kid that turned off the game or turned off the volume and then would announce the game myself. Knew all the players, knew all the stats. Still might be able to check off a bucket list item. I've been talking with the Broncos announcers. Dave Logan. Dave Logan wants to get me on for like one play, just call like a play, and that would be the absolute dream.
Or here's an idea.
What
if we live stream a game wherever you're at, and we could just zoom in and we can do that?
We'll do our own version of the Manning cast.
Exactly.
Wolf Dwarf. Dwarf Wolf. Whatever it is. Mini Wolf. I don't care.
Mini Wolf.
Let's make it happen.
I think that would be fun.
I'll have to tell Rick Lewis, sorry, man. I'm doing it with the Wolf.
Yep. Sorry, bud.
But yeah, that was the dream, and that's what I was going to school for. And then Father's Day of 2003, I go take my dad to the Brea Improv, and we see a comedy show. The comedian on stage is
Carlos Mencia.
Yeah,
right?
Mencia's on stage making midget jokes. Half the audience is laughing. The audience that's sitting by me is like, "Oh no, stop! Get off the midget jokes! Like stop!" And Mencia notices, and he's like, "What? Is one of them here?" And I was just like, "Yes, sir, I am here." And he didn't make fun of me. He called me up on stage, and he started asking me questions. He's just like, "I want to talk to you." Starts asking me questions. I'm answering the questions honestly, not trying to be funny, but my answers got laughs. And
what were some of the? Do you remember any of those questions?
Oh, I remember these because my first laughs on stage. First thing he goes like, "What do you do for a living?" And I was 19 years old, and at the time, Orange County kid. I did what all Orange County kids did. I worked at Disneyland. That's what I was doing, and I said that. The audience laughed, and I turned to them and said, "Shut the fuck up! I'm not one of the 7." And that got a laugh. And
that's funny.
Yeah. So then that was like, oh, that felt good. That felt really good. So then literally that night went home. There used to be a website that was called chucklemonkey.com. Every open mic comic from like 2000 to 2008 or whatever the website shut down knows about this website. It listed every open mic all over the country. You just click on your state. Here's your open mics. Here's the days. So I remember finding the website, going to it, and then 20 years later, I mean that's the fast version of the story.
Yeah. So all right. So Mencia brings you up on stage.
Yeah.
You do it, and you get that endorphin drop of like making people laugh.
Yeah.
And getting a reaction from the crowd, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh fuck, I kind of want to do this.
Yeah.
So what?
And
So
that was- yeah.
so did because I think I read that you that he brought you on tour with him.
Yeah, for 4 years. So a year or so later, I saw him again. This time I was at the Ontario Improv, and I had told him because he did a meet and greet after the first show, and I told him, hey, I started doing stand-up because of what our interaction was. He goes, oh, really? He goes, why don't you open up the second show? That fast. And this is a sold-out improv. It's like 400 people. And just for context, that is not done. You don't give a fan a guest spot
Right.
on the show. So I say that because I want people to understand. I know that Mencia has his haters out there, and fine. Everyone is shades of gray, my friend. Everyone is, yeah, I don't like that about you, but hey, this thing's pretty cool. Like
Right.
everyone is shades of gray. So he gave me this opportunity. I go up on stage. I did 5 minutes, 3 minutes, and then I get off stage, and literally right then and there, he goes, hold on, and he goes up on stage, and he asked the audience, he goes, hey guys, by the way, he wasn't supposed to go on yet, but he just went up on stage and went, hey guys, how'd you guys like Brad? And the whole audience, yeah. Then he goes, cool, you guys have just made a decision for me. Brad, you want to be my new opening act? Literally like that.
That's fucking awesome.
And I'm sitting there like, yeah, I'm a junior at USC studying communications.
Like people don't know about Mencia now because he's not like he's not like a Rogan guy,
right?
You know, he's not.
That's for sure.
You know, he's not. Yeah, he's not. He's not like a comedy store guy.
For various reasons.
Yes,
but yes,
but
yes.
But so that people don't really know about him.
Yeah,
but he was a fucking
at the time. Yeah,
I mean that's like a giant.
Yeah, and then
in the game.
Yeah, and then literally the next week I was on the road. I was doing the Fox Theater in Bakersfield, which has 1,300 people, and that was sold out. That was the next week, and I was his opening act for 4 years, and then decided, college is over, time to go off on my own.
And when he was just like, "Hey, go open for me," what the fuck did you do? Like, did you have something already put together?
I had my 3 minutes, 5 minutes that I had been doing at open mics for the past year and a half, and. Yeah, and that was the first time I really had like a real audience, because when you're an open mic comic, it's not an audience.
It's a couple people.
Yeah. Mostly the other open mic comedians. So you can kind of gauge if something's halfway decent or not, but you really don't know until you go up in front of an actual audience.
Yeah.
And when I had real basic jokes, but one of them I still tell every now and then on stage, just because it's fun that like my first joke still gets a laugh. It's like, yeah, I had something even back then. And it was a true story where I was at a hotel and a guy came out of an elevator, saw me, and now I don't know this guy's ethnicity, but I do know the accent. So do whatever with it that you want, internet. But the guy sees me coming out of the elevator and just screams out. He goes, "Oh my gosh, it's a demon. Get away from me, you little demon." And then he starts running. And I had a couple friends with me that were like, "Oh my God." And I just turned and ran after the guy going like that and like chased him out of the hotel. And that was one of my first jokes because it was a true story. And I remember that got laughs and I was like, okay. So I did that joke that night, a couple others, and then it went well. It went good. Like now I look back and I probably would cringe like looking at a bunch of the material, but it was like I had done plays and musicals and like improv comedy, so I've been on stage, and honestly, when you look like me, you're used to people staring at you. So it's like, it's not like, oh my God, all these eyes, I don't know what to do with this. Like it's that's all day, every day.
It's funny because we can relate there because because of my size and being like having dreadlocks and tattoos and being 6'6", like people stare at you.
Yep.
And I'm just used to it, so it doesn't really bother me. It's funny because we're like complete opposite sides of that spectrum, and
so
it's like when you get on stage, as long as you like show confidence,
yes,
like nobody is going to question
correct
whether you fucked up or not.
Yes. And I would say that it's funny, I did a podcast with the wrestler The Big Show. It was me and Big Show on Chris Jericho's podcast, and we talked about growing up and obviously the two extremes. A lot of the same stories, a lot of the same. You know, we both have trouble getting clothes. We both get stared at a lot. Cars suck. And airplanes suck. Like everyone kind of jokes like, oh, every seat's a first class seat for you. It's great. I go, no, my legs dangle. Okay. For however long the flight is. I got to get up. I got to do little exercises while I'm doing it, or else my legs fall asleep.
Yeah, they fall asleep.
Yeah. So it's like, that's what I got to do. This is fine because only my ankles are, this is perfect. This is nice. This is a very dwarf friendly chair. But yeah, so.
It's funny. I was worried about the chair. I was like, these chairs are so deep that I was like, I don't know if it's going to be comfortable for him or.
No. Well, and then the other thing that, so a lot of people don't realize is that, so my type of dwarfism, there's different types. That's why if you look at like Mini-Me from Austin Powers and you look at me, he also has dwarfism, but it's a different type of dwarfism. But my type has an average sized torso. So I sit just as tall as your average 40-year-old dude. And so it's always funny going to like get my hair cut at a barbershop that doesn't know me because they like bring out that booster seat. I'm like, put the fucking thing away.
I don't need a booster seat.
I don't need it. I'm fine. Like you have, like sometimes when I go to restaurants, you have the waiter or waitress having this like debate in their head, like, does he need a booster or a pad or something? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You know, if ever I'm at any place where I got to hop on a bar stool or something, people are like, do you need like
step stool,
a boost or like whatever? Like, dude, I've been climbing bar stools my whole life. I could fucking Cirque de Miger up any bar stool. I'm good. So it's like, yeah, I become like a parkour guy, like at bars. Like, yeah, you have bar stools over there, these nice chairs.
Climb right up them.
No problem. No problem. So yeah, but that's just because with whatever your situation is, you learn how to adapt.
Yeah, you figure it out.
You figure it out. I have a joke right now in my act, and most of my jokes are true stories. I put a joke in my first special that was like, this is how I write jokes. Step 1, be a dwarf. Step 2, wait. And then just funny stuff will happen and you get to write stuff. I have a joke right now in my act about whenever I fly, I put my own bag in the overhead storage bin and people act like it's like, oh my God, that was so inspiring. Like they feel like they just watched an ESPN 30 for 30 or some shit.
So how do you get it up there?
Armrests, hop on, reach down, grab the sumbitch and
see, that's what I was thinking you probably just like like a hay bale, just toss it up there like a hay bale.
Yeah, I mean, kinda. It's more or less that. And then so it's just the things that people think like, oh my God, how do you do that? It's like, well, I don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, you have to figure it out.
Yeah, like you figure it out.
What was it like as a kid though, like in school and everything? What was
great? I didn't have a bad childhood. Some people with disabilities, differences, whatever you want to call them, you know, they got mocked, they got teased. I got teased, and here's the brilliance. Here's the brilliance, Derek. The brilliance of my father is that my dad knew that I would be bullied in school. He knew that. He didn't have this naive attitude of like, no, my son's just like everybody else.
Well, no, because kids are assholes.
Kids are assholes. Kids are mean. I have a relative who's got a kid he's this tall, good-looking dude, and he's getting bullied in high school. So it's like I'm like, why? How? What's wrong with them? Like nothing. So, but like they find a way. So like he knew I'd be bullied in school. He knew I'd be a target. So my dad would sit down with me, and my dad was a trial attorney. So he would write comebacks with me, anticipating that kids would make fun of me. So when a kid did, oh my God, Derek, I unleashed hell. I unleashed hell on these kids. Like, they would come up and, say something. I would just have something right away. And, it's cliche, but it's true. The best way to get rid of a bully is to punch him in the face. And bullies don't like being punched in the face, whether verbally or physically. So I would do that. And then it became known around the school, like, no, that's Brad. He's cool. Yeah. Like, so then if any new kids came in and they tried something, like, everyone would be like, no. Like, you don't want to do that.
He's going to roast your ass.
Yeah. And then, like, dude, I played sports. I played hockey. Like, hockey was my main one. So, and
I bet you were good at hockey.
I was good. I was a defenseman. But like, my coach called me, like, he's like, dude, you're a cerebral player. Like, which is a cute way of saying not very athletic, but I was good. I was good, but yeah, like, I would figure out plays and I would know shit and I would be where I knew the puck was going to be. But I played, and there was one time when, like, a new kid came to the league. He had just moved to the area, and, like, he thought, oh, there's a little guy. It'd be fun to hit him. And he did, and he hit me. It was hard. But then, like, the whole it's a rink, went quiet, and then you saw the coach on the other team just be like, oh boy, because he knew what was coming. And then our coach, Doug Duxbury, shout out, great guy, sent the biggest guy on our team and leveled that kid. And when he did, the ref didn't even call it a penalty because he's like, yeah, that's what you get. Yeah. Like, so there was that sort of vigilante justice thing going on, the sort of the Wild West mentality. And people knew, don't fuck with me. Because if I don't get you, somebody else will.
Well, it's not fair. I mean, you can't fucking level him back.
No. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I can't do that.
Yeah, you can't. It's not
I can score on you, but I can't, like, I mean, maybe if I take out a knee and turn into a bowling ball,
just
but
dirty.
I'm not going to do that.
It's just dirty to do shit like that.
Yeah, so, yeah, normal childhood, great childhood. I'm not going to be up here and be like, it was tough. No, it was awesome.
Well, it's great when your dad, like, prepares you that way.
Yeah.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, one sister, and then she's the brains of the operation. She's she's very intelligent, like, never got a B, like, ever. Straight A's through college, academic scholarship, and then I'm the jokester. I'm the prankster. I like the attention. John Mulaney opened up his most recent special talking about how much he loved attention as a kid. I'm like, oh my God, you're speaking to me, John.
Yeah.
Like, that was me. I liked attention. And I realized, you talk to some therapists or whatever, and you go, like, stuff makes sense to you. I realized that I wanted attention because I wanted to control the attention. Because if I don't do anything, I'll still get attention, but it's not the type I like. And that's why I like comedy. I'm on stage. I'm controlling the attention. I make you laugh. I choose what you laugh at.
Right.
You're not seeing me going like, look at that little guy and laughing. No. I'm going to craft a joke. That's what you're going to laugh at. And then you're going to forget I'm a little person altogether. Right. So that's why I do that. Thanks, therapy.
Therapy could do that. Hey, I'm not going to knock it because I do a lot of it.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's go. I'm going to back up so we can stay on track here. So
all good.
So you are opening for Carlos Mencia.
Yeah.
What comes next? How long did you do that for?
4 years.
4 years you opened up for.
Yeah. And then, you just kind of, when you tour, you get to know people and you get better, and hopefully you're learning stuff and you're making contacts, and then you just start headlining, B and C rooms, and but you got to go. I knew that I didn't want to be an opening act.
What is the B and C room?
All right, so so we're in Denver. Denver has the A room of A rooms, which is the Comedy Works. It's one top 5 club in the country, both locations. Fantastic. That is an A room. The B room, I don't want to say the name, but like, it's the off comedy clubs, the ones that don't hold 300 or 2, like they hold like 75, they hold 100, and you could look at the lineups and be like, okay, like that's where a lot of the opening acts will start headlining. Go, oh, I saw that guy open for, I'm saying a random headliner. I saw that guy open for Fluffy, and now he's doing this room on the side. Great. Like, that's what I'm talking about. So it's still valuable. It's still a microphone. It's still an audience. So
It's still good practice.
They're necessary. They're vitally necessary. So I'm not trying to knock the rooms, because that's where everyone starts. So you start doing that, and then you just start slowly building that following. And I almost feel like some are able to do it. Some comics are able to do it. I feel like you have to be so hyper focused. Like you can't have the wife and the kids during that time, because it's like, I have to focus on this.
Yeah.
This is what I have to do. So there's a story about Seinfeld and Michael Richards, and when someone met them and fanboyed out for a second, and then said, I'm thinking about being a comedian. And Michael Richards looked up and went, "You'll never make it." And the guy's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, I can make it. I could work hard. I could be funny." He goes, "No, you're not going to make it because you said the words, 'I'm thinking about being a comedian.'"
Yeah.
We don't think about it.
Yeah, you can't be halfway in.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a positive Michael Richards story.
Well,
there's the other
you're
one
proof
that's
of that
not.
because it was like it called to you.
Yeah, it did. And like, you look at it and like, oh, my dad wrote jokes with me. He was training me to be a comedian,
Yeah.
like, unbeknownst. But now, now if I'm on stage and some guy like yells out "leprechaun," you don't think I haven't heard that shit? You don't think I don't have comebacks for you? I've got that. And now I'm a dad, and my daughter's a little person, so I'm obviously gonna teach her those comebacks.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be good. I feel so
How old's
bad.
your daughter?
4. So she's not getting roasted yet in school, but
I have a 5-year-old,
ready.
so a 5-year-old daughter, so it's wild being a girl dad. It is.
I know every lyric to Frozen.
Oh, you kidding me? Dude, is she watching Bluey yet?
No, I'm trying, because every parent.
It's great.
Yes.
It's great. I'll watch it with her.
Yes.
It's so good.
Every parent says you got to get her into Bluey. We're trying. She doesn't like it. She likes this, but I've heard that Bluey does something that another show that she watches. She watches a Daniel Tiger, and what Daniel Tiger and Bluey both do is that they teach not only the kids, but they teach the parents.
Yeah.
Hey, this is how you be a good parent.
Yeah. It teaches you patience.
A lot.
Like the patience that these parents in these shows show.
Yeah.
I know they're just a dog, but like,
hey man,
it's incredible. Where he's just like, "Oh, I said I was going to do it. I have to do it."
Yeah.
Like,
it's a guy.
there's a lesson there for both
so
parties.
valuable.
It's great.
So valuable. And
it's funny.
I like being a girl dad.
I love it.
Mostly because a lot of my friends have boys and they're about the same age as my daughter, and they're dumb as fuck.
They're dumb as fuck. Little boys are dumb as fuck.
They're so dumb.
They do the dumbest shit. No self-preservation.
No, it's just they're like little things that just run into the next thing that's gonna kill them.
Yeah.
And they bump off, and then they go to the next thing that's gonna kill them. And like, I see my daughter interact with them, and I'm just like, oh, I got a great kid. Oh, thank God, I got a great kid.
It's funny because I don't like sometimes, you know how like other people's kids, you're like, fuck, this kid sucks.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
It's always a great compliment when people like want to be around your kid.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, "Oh, I love being around your daughter. She's so much fun. Like, she's got such a good personality."
Yes.
And because some of these kids are little assholes.
Yeah.
These little iPad kids that are like,
she's not an iPad kid. I love it. Like, she watches whatever she watches, but we try to limit it and try to get her out there and actually, do stuff, take her out, do things.
Yeah.
I don't want her to be parented by an iPad. And my wife's so good at that because obviously I'm gone a lot, so she does so much of that. But it's so that, and like, I don't get joy watching my daughter on an iPad.
no.
But take her to an aquarium and watch her light up when she sees a jellyfish. Done. Pump that into
Have
my
you done
veins.
Disney yet?
We've done meet and greets with the characters, but we will do Disney. So we're going. This is a bit of a flex. We're going to Hawaii next week, and we're staying at the Disney Resort there.
Ooh.
So yeah, she's gonna meet a bunch of characters, and she's
Mm-hmm.
now really discovered Disney movies in the last like 2 years. So, it's
So
gonna
all
be
the
good.
princesses and
Yeah, she loves the Frozens.
oh,
She loves the Frozens.
that's how Roxy still loves Frozen. Like she still is like.
I had avoided it. The first time I watched it was with my daughter.
It's a good movie.
It's good.
It's really good.
watched it, I'm
Both
like,
of them
"Ah,
are good.
That's a good story. Okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's a good story. It's kind of dark.
Yeah, a little bit. It gets there.
Because I remember the first time she asked me, what happened to her parents?
Oh boy,
I was like, oh, they're lost.
they're lost. They were on a boat and now they don't know how to get home. Yeah,
It's like kind of dark. You know?
Disney has a history of killing the parents, whether
Yeah.
it be Bambi, Lion King, Frozen. I'm sure there's others I'm leaving out, but
I mean, Bambi's dad was a stud buck. I mean, be hard to let that one walk. And if you know anything about deer, the dads don't hang around, all right?
I love that I mentioned that in front of a hunter, and you're like, whoa, 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 that one was justified. He can't be walking out there with that much meat on him.
Yeah, you'll never see a buck walking around with a fawn. You're not going to see that. The does take care of the fawns. And the
Yeah.
bucks go out and
Yeah,
try to bang every doe they can.
yeah, they do.
They're not. It's not like a family. They don't have a family.
I would like to watch you watching Bambi with your kids. Like, okay, this is how life really is. This is that. Yeah. Like when you're picking your hobbies, do you just do like, all right, that's not manly enough. I have to do something where I'm barefoot. I have to rub some other animal's urine on my face. Like I've got to do.
It's funny that people think. So here's the thing about urine.
Yeah.
You don't want animals to smell you.
Okay.
So you want to like avoid being smelled at all costs. So putting another animal's urine on you would be like the last thing you would do.
Okay. So
Because then they're going to be like, oh, fuck, I smell another. Like,
right.
what is that? You know, and they're going to go away. So
Okay.
you have to play the wind. But, you know, when I hunted when I grew up. So I grew up hunting.
Yeah.
And it was just like took a back seat to football. And then
Sure.
I got back into it like later once I was married and like, you know, all these other unhealthy hobbies had to go away.
Sure.
And
Football's gone. You got to do something where a giant thing is trying to kill you, and you're trying to kill the giant
well,
thing.
man, most of the time, like when you hunt bears and stuff, yeah, like it gets in mountain lions. Like
Yeah.
I hunted that big mountain lion. I don't know if you saw the picture of that giant.
I did.
You know, that was like people are like, well, why'd you do it with a bow? I'm like, because it's more extreme. Like it's harder to do.
Yeah, it's too easy.
It's too easy to like just.
I can
It's
point.
hard. It's a hard hunt.
Yeah.
Mountain lion hunting is fucking hard, no matter what, because they are apex predators.
Yeah.
Like they know how to hunt. They know how to kill. They see you long before you see them. So you have to use hounds. But those hounds will chase them for miles through the mountains. Wow. And they'll finally pick a tree and they'll climb up that tree. And then you have to, once the dogs get it treed, you have to go to it or the dogs won't leave. Or the lion will kill the dogs.
Yeah, it's like, how does the lion not just go, oh, wait, I'm a fucking lion?
And they sit up there in the tree and
dog?
just stare.
Now, okay. So, and this is why I'm so happy to be on this podcast. Because, I mean, for me, not a hunter, don't hunt. Never thought about hunting. Fish, yeah, I'll do that. But like, so when you're mountain lion hunting, I doubt you eat.
Yes.
Oh, you do?
Yes. And
then I'm all for it.
That's why
I'm
in
all for it.
Colorado they're trying to ban mountain lion hunting.
Sure.
And they're saying it's a trophy hunting ban. You aren't allowed to trophy hunt in Colorado.
Now, because I'm all for hunting for food, because that's what we all do. We all consume food, and you need like so. If you kill and then you consume, to me, that's the most honorable, most respectful, most pure form of getting your food. You didn't go to a. I mean, you want to talk like this is where you and the vegan hippies can have some common ground. Because it's like, okay, so you guys like free range, humanely raised. What's more humanely raised than a wild animal?
And also, here's what you have to also think. These people, I'm glad that you're like an in-between, like on the fence guy, because those are the people that we're gonna like that as a hunter that I'm trying to like make them understand like why this is like important. Because just like anything, there's gonna be some asshole that fucking kills things just to kill things. Like, there's gonna be that guy, but there's we have it's called the North American model of conservation.
Okay.
There's a reason why we have all these rules and regulations around hunting. You can't just go out and kill anything anywhere.
Good.
There's all these, there's like quota, and even with mountain lions, there's a quota in every unit in Colorado. So there's units all over the place. And those quotas they're not being met. So you're not even hitting those quotas.
Okay.
Because if you don't manage populations of like deer and elk, and you get like a huge population of them, they get disease, they starve, and people think that animals just like go to sleep and don't wake up. Like that's how they die. That doesn't happen.
No.
They get old and they get left behind, and then they get like this. I always say this, but they get eaten asshole first.
Yeah.
Because coyotes and wolves and lions, that's how they eat them.
Yeah.
They eat them alive.
So why not like if
So
you
me
had to
putting
choose,
me putting an arrow through both of their lungs, they run 50 yards, lay down and die. That's the most peaceful death they're ever going to get.
Yeah. Compared to what's out there.
And then I'm not just leaving the animal there to rot. I'm taking every piece of that animal except for the bones.
Great.
Like I debone everything out there and then I pack it all out and we leave.
Good. See that.
And I like, and for me, and people are like, well, why did you hang it on your wall? Because I remember, it helps me. I remember the story, and I think I'm honoring that animal by doing that.
Absolutely, because now you're not forgetting that animal's memory.
Yeah.
Why do you have an urn of your grandfather in your house?
Yeah,
to remember.
The first deer, like when I killed deer and elk and like the first elk I killed, I cried.
Yeah,
because I felt like it was like so hard to do it. Anyways, it took 5 days, 110 miles on my feet, like through the mountains. Like it was just so hard to get in position to get a shot with my bow. And then when I finally put my hands on him, I was just like so grateful and thankful for him. Like
that's like a,
it was like,
it's almost like a Native American hunter spirit.
Well,
like,
it's
that's
super,
cool.
it is. It is very like, there's something,
You say spiritual, it's fine.
I would say spiritual, but it's also something like, I don't know. It's like in my DNA to do it. Like, it's like something is calling me to like be out there, like on the chase, like chasing down my meat, like figuring out where I'm going to get this food. And I love that. I love being able to, Abby will tell you, I love cooking up meat that I've killed.
That's a pride.
And serving it to my family and serving it to my friends and giving it to people. Like she'll tell you, I love it. I love having barbecues because I love to share that meat with people.
Hunter-gatherer, you went out and got the thing for the tribe. So now the tribe can survive.
Yeah, it's like a part of me.
What's more basic than that?
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
well,
and I understand when people don't
talk to you.
And my wife Abby, she won't kill anything. She won't kill a fucking moth.
Yeah,
but she understands like why I do what I do and why I love it.
Yeah,
even though it like makes her crazy because she's like, oh, you're retired from the NFL. We're gonna have all this time together, and then I'm like, oh, by the way, all of September I'll be gone.
I'm tracking one deer.
Yeah, she's like, and I was like, yeah, she's like, she'll call me like, you haven't done it yet, and I'm like, no, and she's like, well, maybe you're not very good at this. All right, guys, I want to talk to you about a product that I've been using for a long time, over a decade. When I was playing football, one of my main staples in my diet was bison. I got my bison from Great Range Premium Bison. They make some of the finest cuts of bison you can get. These guys have ribeyes, ground beef, all the steaks that you want. My favorite part about Great Range is that you don't have to worry about antibiotics or growth hormones in their meats. Great Range Premium Bison is a family-owned company providing bison meat from family-owned ranches around the country. So please go check out greatrangebison.com.
I admire you guys so much because like I'm 40 and I feel like I'm just getting really good at comedy. Like I said, this is my best year ever. Oh, I can't imagine being 34 and someone coming up to me and being like, hey, we're not re-signing you as a comedian. We're letting you go and we'll see if any other clubs pick you up, but they probably won't because you're 34. And yeah, you're done being a comedian.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I can't imagine that. And I've only been doing it since I was 19. Like you said, you've been doing it since you were 7.
Yeah.
Like, did someone come, because when did you retire?
2022.
2022, how old were you then?
32.
32.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine someone coming up to me and being like, you're 32 years old.
I mean, it was, but it was great because I got to do it on my terms. Like I decided that I had had enough. 10 years was long enough for me. Like that was my goal when I set out, was to play for 10 years and then move into something else. And my body was starting to like,
I guess that might help you retire.
And I like to, and I want to be able to, and that's the thing. I want to be able to do shit with my kids. Like I want to be like, I love snowboarding and skiing. Like I want to be able to do that. I love hunting and I love hiking through the mountains. And I love
Can't be tracking an elk on an electronic wheelchair.
No, yeah, you can't be out there with a cane. You know, it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So that was like and I was getting concussions really easy, and I always like, especially having when I was younger, I just like my self-preservation was not there.
Sure.
Like I did not give a shit. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I didn't expect before I was married with kids. I did not expect to make it past like 50.
Right.
I figured if I make it to 50,
Good job.
good job. Yeah, like, But then I had kids. I was like, fuck, I want to be like a grandpa one day. You know? And I want to be like a healthy grandpa. I don't want to be like that miserable, sick grandpa.
Oh, he's
like,
in the room. No one goes in there.
He has no idea what his name is.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
back there
yeah.
shitting himself.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that,
No.
So that's why I just decided like, it's time to call it. Like my body's had enough. I had double hip surgeries and like it was just it was enough.
Because how many years were you with the Ravens?
Was it 2 years with the Ravens?
2 years with the Ravens. Yeah, man. It was I can't imagine that and like I just rewatched Broke the ESPN 30 for 30, and like because for me it's like, okay, as a comic I could build, and then like, okay, I wasn't B rooms, then I did A clubs, then I sold out A clubs, then we added shows to A clubs. Now we're doing theaters. Now we're selling out theaters. Now we're adding shows at theaters. Who knows if I go the Burt Kreischer route and start doing stadiums in 3 years? If I do, great. If I go back to clubs, okay. But there's always like all right, I can get bigger. I can get a TV show. I can get a movie. I can get something else. When you retire as a football player or a professional athlete, and then the guys that go broke, they're not getting another $10 million check.
No.
That was your time. That was the most money you're ever going to see. Now, of course, there's outliers with the media game, and some people are getting into podcasting and as analysts, whatever. Great. I'm glad that's out there for them. But for the majority,
it's not there.
That's
and
the last.
And
that's
the
the
other
last
thing about the
check you're
NFL is
get.
people don't realize that like most of the guys in the league aren't making a fuck ton of money. Like they're not making life-changing, like life-altering money.
Yeah.
Where you could just live off that forever.
Did they make you pay for a dinner as a rookie? That was like,
I had to pay for a private jet.
the fuck?
Yeah.
That's 25, 30, 40 grand.
Yeah. It was 25,000.
Yeah. Wow. That's insane. Like,
But I did it. I just did it. And then Champ Bailey actually like pitched in and helped me pay for it.
good man, Champ Bailey. I knew I liked that guy.
He was like, you're really going to pay for that whole thing. I was like, I mean, what the fuck? You guys asked me to do it. I'm going to do it. Like,
Yeah.
he was like, I got you, bro. Like,
That's cool. Okay, so behind us, I want to ask you this when we walked in. There's the replica Lombardi. When you guys win one, because I've heard like some people have Lombardis in their house and stuff like
yeah,
that.
you got to pay for it.
Oh. Do you have one?
No,
Like,
I wasn't going to pay for it.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Like, hey, dude, you got the ring.
Yeah, that's all I wanted was a ring.
You're good.
I just wanted a ring, and
You got the jersey with the patch on it.
yeah, that's the Super Bowl jersey over there,
Yeah.
hanging
Hell
beside
yeah,
the
man.
deer.
Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, man, it was like, it was so cool also because like Travis Kelce was my roommate in college. So we played against each other every year twice.
Oh, so
and then
you
now
were in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I went to Cincinnati.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't
So
know your
me-
college. That's good.
Me, him, and Jason all lived together, and it was like
That's
between the three. We got what 3, 4, 5 Super Bowls between the three of us.
oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. Jason got one. We talked earlier when the podcast opened about like does the NFL prepare you for fame? Do you text Travis and be like, how is that going for you?
So I was with him not long ago. In Cincinnati, and I was.
That's another level.
He doesn't care. Like it's
Good.
like he's gonna be himself no matter what. Like
Yeah.
that's it. He's not trying to be somebody else. That's the thing where I think it bothers people is when they're like, what they're doing is an act. Travis is being himself. Like,
Yeah.
he's not trying to be somebody he's not. He's just like Travis has always been funny. He's always been like charismatic. Always been crazy athletic. Like just
Yeah.
that's just the way he is.
I met him one time, and he made me laugh because I was at the Comedy Store, and I'm sitting in the back, and the back row of the Comedy Store, there's like 6 chairs, and those are reserved for paid regulars, comedians who are past there. And so I'm sitting there, and one of the managers of the Comedy Store comes by, and there's a bunch of people sitting there, and they go, everybody clear out. I'm like, what? You go, no, and they go, no, Brad, you can stay. I guess for whatever seniority, I don't know. I was allowed to stay, and in comes a guy that's about your size, big as Travis Kelce, sits down right next to me, just puts out his hand and goes, hey, I'm Travis. Nice to meet you. And I go, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're Travis. I'm Brad. He goes, yeah, I know who you are. I've watched your special. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he goes, then you know I'm a Broncos fan, right? And he goes, yeah, nobody's perfect. And I'm like, got me. But nice guy.
He's a great guy.
And
he's a great human.
Loves watching comedy. And a few of my comedian friends, Andrew Santino, are close with him. And I mean, you get older and you realize that, yeah, the guys on the Broncos don't hate the guys on whatever. Like, you guys are friends.
Yeah.
You hate
that was
some
the
of
hard
them.
part because we do hate the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And people are like, we gotta stop Travis. And I'm like, well, I love Travis.
Hey, he's a good guy. He's an all right guy. So you were on the D line. So do you ever go up against him blocking?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Yeah.
He'd always be right there, and we'd just be talking shit to each other, just goofing with each other.
Now, do you talk more shit to the guys that you know, or
no? I only talk shit to people that if you talk shit to me first. But if I know you, we're just we would just have casual conversation out there.
Yeah.
And then oh fuck, all right, we're getting ready to fucking run a play.
You're asking about friends, family, hey, how's it?
yeah. After the play, we're chatting it up, I just fucking tackled the running back, and he'd be on top of me, shaking my shoulder pads and shit.
I see. That's the stuff I love, because it's you find out that you guys were so sort of used to viewing you guys as just hitting football machines.
Yeah.
Which to some degree you kind of have to be, but then it's nice to see the humanity in there.
Yeah, it's a lot of, there's some wild shit that goes on, but it's for the most part, man, everybody respects each other out there. So
yeah,
when that respect is you're trying to kick that guy's ass, he's gonna get you too, though. You know what I mean?
Sure,
everybody's paid to do this.
Yeah.
But my job is make sure I get him more than he gets me. That's
Good,
what I'm
man.
trying to do. But it was so much fun. Hey everybody, this episode is brought to you by Black Buffalo. Black Buffalo's nicotine pouches do not contain tobacco leaf or stem. What they do contain is a ton of flavor, and they're packed with pharmaceutical grade nicotine. The magic of Black Buffalo is they discovered a way to make cured edible green leaves behave like the texture of tobacco. And they add food grade ingredients for industry classic flavors. You're in good company if you roam with the Black Buffalo herd. The business was built by dippers with decades of smokeless tobacco use. They manufacture their tobacco alternatives with respect for those products that came before them. Bold flavors, full pouches, metal lids, and a brand that stands for something, American. Their products are also proudly endorsed by brand ambassadors such as MMA Hall of Famer, Cowboy Cerrone, NASCAR champion, Brian Blaney, rising country star Larry Fleet, and Rob O'Neill, former U.S. Navy SEAL Team 6. So if you're 21 and older and you consume nicotine or tobacco and you want to join the Black Buffalo herd, head over to blackbuffalo.com to learn more. You can order nicotine pouches online, and they ship directly to most states. Or you can check out their store locator to purchase pouches at thousands of retail locations around the country. Black Buffalo, an American brand, pouches worth respect. So now that you've done all these, you've done B rooms, C rooms, A rooms, and then you're doing theaters.
I'll be here. I'll be here in Denver New Year's Eve. So if you're in town, what's the theater name? Paramount.
Paramount. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're in town, you got tickets waiting for you.
Okay.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, we might go to Mexico. So
all good. That's a good place to go for New Year's Eve.
Yeah,
so
she was just talking about it. So we'll see.
Good, man.
We'll see if we're here. We're definitely coming.
Hell yeah.
But all right. So when did you do when was your first special?
First special was 2000 and
that was Daddy Issues.
Fun Size.
Fun Size.
Fun Size was the first one in 2015, I believe. And that was, here's a fun thing about that special. So when that was shot, it was shot at the Libero Theater, which is in Santa Barbara, a small theater, smallish theater. And I was barely anybody, and I couldn't sell it out. So when you see it in the special, we had to maneuver the audience so on camera
It looks sold out.
it looks sold out. But if you would look, but if you're looking out from the stage, they were like in this weird like almost Z shape, just because that's what we had to do to get to look like it was sold out. But yeah, and here's the thing about this business is people will ask me a lot. They'll say like, when was your big break? And I go, I didn't have a big break. I had the break that led to the break that led to the break that led to the break. And so Fun Size is a prime example of that. Fun Size, it's my first special. It's on Showtime. Awesome. Hell yes. That's a break. But this is back before, like we had DVRs, but for the most part, things aired once and then they were never re-aired again. Maybe they recorded it, but they wouldn't play it a ton. They'd play it every now and then. So it was just there and then it was gone. Then Amazon Prime comes up. Amazon Prime buys Fun Size and Daddy Issues, those two specials. Great. Now they're on Amazon Prime. And people are watching those for free. And so that was another break. But then TikTok happens. People get these little clips from the specials. They blow up on TikTok. And to this day, I know I'm an idiot. Write me, please. I've heard it. But I don't have a TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. Any person you see on TikTok as of this moment is not me. But my clips went nuts. So now I started selling tickets. And so it was the break that led to the break that led to the break.
Yeah.
And I could throw in 5 more of those types of breaks, whether I got in on certain radio shows, doing certain podcasts like that. That helped. So to those people that are looking for that silver bullet, that's going to be like, all right, I'll get to here and then I'll be happy, or then my dreams will come true, or then it's all going to happen. No, it's going to be the thing and then the thing and then the thing.
Yep.
So have 3 goals, don't have 1.
I think people do that a lot. They set this one goal and then they're chasing like this.
Well, because I imagine you want to make the team in college. Cool. You made the team. Cool. You want to get drafted in the NFL. You did that. Well, now what? You need the next thing.
Yeah, you have to come. It happens in the NFL. Guys get drafted and they fall off because they don't. That was their goal, was to get drafted.
Yep.
So now they're like, okay, I got drafted. I made the team, and
now what?
Now they lose their drive.
Yeah, because then it's your rookie contract. And I've heard this said by a couple people, so please correct me if I'm wrong. It's like the second contract.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah.
You're working for that second contract. If you get a third, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, good. And so yeah, it's Fun Size was great. Daddy Issues personally is my favorite. That's my favorite special. And if you've seen the ending, you know why. Because my dad's in the audience, and I have a whole bit about kind of what I was talking to you about, how he raised me in terms of comebacks and stuff like that. And then my dad was diagnosed with very serious skin cancer. It was not looking good. And but then he beat it. So, and that was the special after that. Oh. And as I'm doing this bit, I know he's in the audience, and I'm going, don't look at him. Don't look at him, because the audience has to be lit so they can be seen on camera. So I know I can see him if I look. I'm like, don't look at him. But then I look at him. This is near the end when I'm doing the bit. I start sobbing, and then I fuck the material. I give a speech to him, and I tell him thank you.
That's awesome.
And I do all that, and then the camera cuts to him. He's crying. He puts a fist up in the air. I'm crying. The audience standing ovation, and so that's why that special is the most important to me. We lost Dad 2 years ago to ALS. Dude had everything. Jesus, cancer, ALS. he had heart issues. But yeah, so it's like, but he made it to 77. And so
that's a long life, man. That's a long life.
So, and here's what I tell people is if you've ever seen the show Inside the Actor's Studio?
No.
Okay, that's where a host would interview actors, comedians, whatever, like an in-depth interview. It was on Bravo Channel. The host was great. I believe he's passed away, but he would do these questions at the end of the interview. Same questions every time. And one of the questions was, if heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates? He had Mike Myers on the show. He asked Mike Myers, if heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates? Mike Myers responds, he saw it. And he says that because he lost his dad very early and didn't get to see. I don't believe his dad saw SNL, didn't see Austin Powers, didn't see Wayne's World, like all that stuff for him. So that's his biggest thing that he carries with him. My dad saw it.
Yeah, he got to see
He saw the specials. We got that moment. He's met all his grandchildren. Like he saw my sister make partner at her firm and killing it. Saw my success. He saw it.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that. I'm content with that. You never want to lose your loved ones, but if that's what happens, okay. Yeah, so that one's the most important one to me. The newest one is called Starfish. That's on YouTube right now. And people like, yes, if Netflix or HBO or Hulu or whomever comes to me and hands me a giant bag of money and says, we want a special, great. But the YouTube route's pretty cool.
I think it's awesome.
I made it myself. I financed it myself. I own it. So I can do whatever I want with it. I can put whatever clips on I want. And right now it's getting right to 2 million views. And so by all means, the Wolfe Untamed audience, if you want to look that up, get it up
make
to
sure
2
you guys
million.
check this out. Go subscribe to his YouTube channel.
Yeah. And I didn't have a YouTube channel. I made one to put the special on. And we're watching the intro where I get thrown off the balcony. It's fun. No, look, this was the first time I've looked at the audience during that scene. There were some good actors. They were acting like I was dead.
This looks, this looks no different than a Netflix special would look.
And that's, we spent money. We
how much, if you don't mind me, how much does it cost to do that?
6 figures.
Really? I figured.
You know, because got to rent the venue. These cameras are not cheap. And then
did you buy the cameras or did you rent them?
I'm renting them. I'm using a production company and they're renting them essentially. But everyone, like, you have to pay for everyone. And I'm looking at, of course, when you're paying for everything, you notice everything. So I'm walking around the set and there's like all the craft services and I'm looking at the crew like, you better fucking eat all that. Like, I paid for that shit. Like, you know, and then you like there's so many things that you didn't even realize that you have to pay for. But I've made the money back. It's great. So it's all good.
Are you getting paid by YouTube?
Not yet, but I've made the money back in terms of the ticket sales. And here's something that was fun. This is real inside baseball, but I figure why not? I shot the special myself, paid for it myself. Then there was a company that came along called Veeps, Veeps, and they do like concerts. You can go to it, you can watch concerts, and they wanted to get into comedy. So they got a few specials. They bought a few specials from me, from I think David Cross, Reggie Watts, Blair Sochi, and so that paid for it back. But then they only owned it for like 3 months. And then they gave it back to me.
That's a good deal.
And I'm like, that's a great deal. So so thank you, Veeps. Thank you. And you can still watch great concerts. I believe it's still even on there if you want to. But if you want to give them some money, give them some shout outs, great. But yeah, that's how the special went. And it's,
would you say that that's the blueprint? Like once you reach a certain level is to put specials out so that you can sell out shows? That's
the thing. That's where you make money. Like I've heard rock stars talk about it where it's like, it used to be you put out records to make money.
Yeah, so you can sell 1 million albums.
Yeah. It's like, that's not where you make money now. Now it's the tour. Mm-hmm. So that's what you do. You put out specials. The specials can become clips. The clips can go on. Like, I threw up one.
Yeah, they put out singles.
Yeah.
They're putting out singles.
These are singles. These are our version of singles. I put out one, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see it a few weeks ago. It's a joke about me and my dog. Yeah, right there. 2.4 million likes. If you look in the views, it's like 25, 26 million views. So like crazy viral. And it's just me talking about my freaking pit bull. And people like dogs, man.
It's got 2 million likes.
Yeah, it's madness. Yeah, so that, like, there you go. Thank you. There was like celebrities that were hitting me up because of that clip. It's awesome. So you never know what's going to be the thing. It's so great now because it used to be in comedy, like you had to get on the Tonight Show and then you had to get a special. You had to get a Comedy Central special. You had to get a Netflix special. Like now You don't need someone to give you the special or give you the thing. You could go on social media, you could write your own stuff, produce your own stuff, and if it takes off, great. Same thing in the music industry. It used to be the record company had to find you.
And now you could go SoundCloud.
Go SoundCloud. Put your shit in. There's mumble rappers on SoundCloud that are like putting out stuff that's blowing them up, and I'm like, hey, it's not my thing, but good for you.
Yeah, good for you. I'm not going to hate on somebody for making money.
No.
For working hard, making money, doing something they like to do.
It's fine.
Oh, so you have a big tour coming up.
I mean, yeah, big tour my whole life, but it's all theaters. It's like we're going to Canada, we're going to Europe, we're going to Australia, we're going to New Zealand, like Norway, like
so it's a world tour.
It's a world tour. And
That's
this is all
badass.
this year, and see me this year because I'm not doing it. I mean, that's the 2025 tour, but if that's not even close to what this year is. But now we're going to a bunch of cities that we missed. So I imagine you have your annoyances from fans, like when you, I don't know, just being football fans in general. The annoyances of comedians is I post the tour schedule and immediately it's, oh, how come you're not going to this little town that doesn't even have a comedy club? And you're like, God, like I'm trying.
It's like, how do you expect me to? So who comes up with the show venue? Like who figures out like, oh, this is where we're gonna go?
So it's mostly this company I use called Emporium. They're part of Live Nation, so it's them. They come to you and say, hey, we're putting in for these theaters. But then it's like, here's another part of the business I didn't even realize. Like multiple people want to use the theater on multiple dates. Just because I say, hey, I'm gonna rent your theater on this night, they're like, yeah, but Wicked is in town, and we want Wicked to play us for a month or 2 months or whatever it is. So or other comedians. So sometimes I try to go to a city, and then I can't because they have another performer that night, and that's my only night that I'm available, or they have a Broadway show that's running. So there's this whole like side thing, the business that people don't know about. So I travel with these 3 huge bright orange cases that are for merchandise, and they're over 50 pounds every time. And I was doing a show in Wisconsin, and I picked up one of them, and then so everyone knew like the next one, oh, that's his bag as well. And this woman goes, is that yours? And I go, yeah, but it's a heavy. She one hands this thing.
Yeah.
Whoof! just gets it up on the luggage cart. One motion. I'm just like, oh my God, they are built differently in Wisconsin.
Yeah, the Midwest, way different build.
Yeah. So, but dude, I love, like, I've found some cities. Like we went to Rockford, Illinois. Why would I be in Rockford, Illinois? But I went there. It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. That's where like the Rockford Peaches from the movie League of Their Own, like that's where they're actually from. That's a real team. It really happened. And just some really good people. I've been to Terre Haute, Indiana. Why would I be in Terre Haute, Indiana ever? Well, I went to do a show there. Freaking awesome. Bar Harbor, Maine was a city where I immediately called my wife. I'm like, we got to come back here. This is awesome.
Well, there are some. That's the thing. Like these small towns are usually pretty badass. Like they're pretty fun.
Yeah. Like, dude, as long as I got a couple of restaurants.
Yeah, they got a couple of restaurants, the local bar, like
done. I've seen cities.
The people are usually awesome.
Yeah,
like they're just great
nice
people. They're having fun. They're out like they're so excited that somebody famous is coming to town.
Yeah, I'm stoked, man. So I love. That's one of my favorite parts about this tour is that we've been going to other places, and like I missed the whole state of Montana this year, so we're doing like 4 dates in Montana. I pretty much missed Iowa, so we're doing like 4 dates in Iowa. It's like I'm trying to go everywhere. And so, yeah, so my 2 pet peeves are, how come you're not coming to this small ass town that doesn't even have a theater when I'm going like everywhere else? Or it's you never come to Phoenix. And I'm like, I've been to Phoenix every year for the last 18 years.
Yeah.
I've been to Phoenix. You just became a fan right after I was there.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, but I was there earlier this year.
I'm sure that gets fucking annoying.
Oh, and
you
I
can
know,
never make everybody happy.
I know, and you realize that all you could do is tour where you can, and I go to the places that say yes. I don't go to the cities and venues that say no. I can't. So I go there, and then I have a great time. And so next year we're still gonna do a little bit of a tour, but not a crazy one.
Not
but
a world tour.
2026, we're already gearing up.
I'll tell you. Can I tell you the joke?
Yeah, fire away.
All right. So he tells me this joke.
Hopefully I didn't hear it. Hopefully I haven't heard it yet.
I don't think you've heard it. He tells this joke. He's like, there's this guy named Pedro, and he's walking down the beach with his hands closed.
Okay.
And his buddy goes, "Hey, Pedro, what are you doing?" He's like, "Oh, I'm taking this butterfly to town to get some butter." And he goes, "That's not going to work." And he goes to town and comes back with a big tub of butter. He's like, "Well, fuck, that worked." And next day, he's, "What are you doing, Pedro?" He's like, "Oh, I'm taking this horse fly to go get a horse." He comes back with a horse.
Okay.
Well, the next day, he's like, "Hey, Pedro, what do you got there? Where are you going?" He's like, "Oh, I got a pussy willow." He goes, "Hey, hold on, I'm going to come with you." And he expected me to like fucking crack up laughing. And I was like,
it's clever.
It's clever, but that's the quick version. This took like 5 minutes.
Oh,
of him.
geez. Yeah.
He's like explaining how wonderful the horse is and how great the butter is.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude,
keep it tight.
I was like, dude, you gotta, like, the punchline just was terrible.
Yeah. So many people come up to me after meet and greets, and they're like, which I love the fact that I'm trying to still do them, where when the shows are done, I go out to the lobby and I'm there until the last person gets a photo. It takes sometimes 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
I'm amazed when people do it. I'm just like, oh my God, you waited in line for 2.5 hours after you already saw me talk for an hour? Thank you. Like, first of all, thank you. But they all want to talk to me, and that's great. I love talking to people. I've heard some stories that will literally stay with me the rest of my life. But sometimes you go, let me tell you a joke. And I'm just like, no, don't.
Oh, please don't do it.
Please don't. Trust me. That's the thing that that'd be like someone going up to you and like, I've got a D-line move that'll be.
Dude, I had a guy the other day ask me if I would smack him in the back as hard as I could. I was like, what?
No.
No, I'm not good. No.
Do people want you to like do the whole like sled thing too?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, people always, that's the other thing about being a football player. People think it's okay to just touch you all the time.
Okay.
So they just like put their hands on me all the time. And I'm like, dude.
So
it's like a reaction sometimes. It's like, pow.
My wife, in addition to being a beautiful woman, is also a martial artist.
Ooh.
And a really good one.
What martial art?
Taekwondo is her main martial art. She's fourth Dan. And then she has black belts in 2 other martial arts because, as she explained to me, Taekwondo is a scoring martial arts, a lot of kicks. And then so she had to take other martial arts to know what to do in a fight.
To become the ultimate John Wick.
Yes, and she is. So
what are the other 2?
Hapkido and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Oh,
yeah.
She's a black belt in Jiu-Jitsu? Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So
that's all you need to know.
So whenever
she'll fuck somebody up.
Yeah.
Break their arm.
I've seen it happen. It was hot as hell. Anyway, but when people find out she's a martial artist, immediately, and especially like men with a woman, they immediately feel like they have to establish dominance or like show her why, like, oh yeah, but I could, or like they go, well, what would you do if? And it's just like, dude, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not,
because size and power mean nothing in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, nothing. It's just, she knows holds, she knows joints, she knows everything. So it's like, but yeah, it's similar in that we all have our things where, like, when people find out I'm a comedian, hey, I'm
gonna tell you a joke.
Yeah, all right, whatever. People.
You ever get a good joke?
Very rarely. Like when I do, I almost don't even laugh. I'm just staring at him like, no shit.
That was actually good.
You did it. You did it. I remember the last one. The last one someone gave me that I actually laughed at was, it's still good in my head. Some guy came up and said, hey man, I got a joke for you. And I was like, all right, what do you got? And he goes, what do you call a lesbian on fire? I was like, what? He goes, LGBTQ. And that made me laugh. There's my gorgeous bride. Look at her.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's great. So so that's the thing that she gets, is people constantly feel like either they need her to like prove herself as a martial artist.
People want to arm wrestle me too. People want to do all this. I'm like, what? No, I'm not gonna fucking arm wrestle you.
Don't do that. I can't imagine like so. There's certain jobs where when you're that job, people then want you to do your job for free.
Yeah, it's fucking.
And whether it be comedian, football player, if you're a strong man, it's gotta suck to be like a stripper or a porn star. Just because people would be like, hey, you know, I asked him to tell a joke. Can you like, you know what I mean? That's gotta stink. Shout out to the people of the adult entertainment industry. You go through so much. And
they got it rough.
And you provide us with so much. So thank you. Thank you. Well done.
Thankless job.
It really is.
I think that's a perfect spot for us to.
What's the payoff? The money shot? That's horrible.
We're gonna end it on the money shot. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Go to bradwilliamscomedy.com. That's got links to everything. It's got links to my tour schedule. It's got links to all my social media. There's a link to go watch my newest special, Starfish, that is on YouTube. Let's get it up to 2 million views, people. I'm racing Dan Soder. He's got a great special that is out. I think it's called On the Road. I think it's at 2.1 or 2.2 million views. So I'm racing him.
You're right there.
Yeah, he's oh man, he's so good. When he's here, and he grew up in Colorado. He grew up a 49ers fan. I forget why. He's told me the story a million times. But his childhood friend is Mike McDaniel.
Oh, okay.
The coach of the Dolphins.
Yes, yeah.
Childhood friend. Like they've been close their whole lives.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'd be a great person for you guys to have on this podcast.
Yeah,
but
you have to make that connect for me.
Absolutely. So, but dude, this has been so cool. We're now gonna. I hope you give me a tour of the abode and how much manliness is in this damn house. There's rock climbing walls. There's courts. There's an axe. There might be an axe throwing lane somewhere in this house.
No.
Not yet?
No.
You'll get there.
So we're building a new house, and that's the issue.
Oh, okay.
We've been here for like 7 years, so we started building a new house. And
you gonna have a bow range?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bow range in there, and then it's out there actually.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if it's,
one more.
I don't even know if it's legal, but who cares?
Hey, here's the last thing: is like when I was growing up, you always heard like, oh. The Porsche is like the midlife crisis car, or like, oh, is a midlife crisis or whatever the hell. I realize that I'm getting older. It's not a midlife crisis. It's just it took you half your life to be able to afford that thing.
Yes, exactly.
And now I can afford that thing.
Exactly.
I want to do all the things.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. When I retired from the NFL, I didn't have time to do shit when I was playing football. It was just football. So now I'm like doing all the stuff that I wanted to do while I was playing, but I couldn't. So
love that. Yeah. Put all the toys in the house. Have fun.
Well, thank you again, man. I really appreciate the time.
Of course.
Nice to meet you. It's a great honor to have you on.
Nice to meet your lovely wife. Thanks for showing me the Super Bowl ring. And more importantly, thanks for winning the Super Bowl ring.
Hell yeah.
It brought me a lot of happiness. So thanks for being a part of that, man.
You know, it's funny because just to end it on this.
Yeah.
Sometimes people will walk up to me and be like, hey, thanks for your service with the Broncos. I'm like, I feel like a stolen valor is happening right now. Like, yeah,
football, there's a lot of war metaphors, but it's still not
it's
war.
Not actually war.
Yes. So don't maybe thank you for your football service.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. I don't know. But yeah.
They'll be like, thank you. And I'll be like, for what? They're like, for your service at the Broncos. And I'm like, what? Like, I didn't fucking. It's so funny. But
amazing.
All right, man. Let's call it quits there. All right, thanks for listening, everybody. Be sure to leave a like and a review. And be sure to check me out on Instagram, DerekWolfe_95. Never miss an update.